Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today on the O'Rourke Report. Okay, where are we? We're up the summer house. Really, not much happened in summer house this week. I didn't think it may have been setting the stage for the remainder of the season because what we do see is the beginning of the Kyle Paige fight that. That looks like it brewed all summer. I'll go into more detail in a second. But this is the traditional weekend where they have the 4th of July party, which coincides with Kyle's birthday. Really, no mention of Kyle's birthday. It was all the 4th of July party. It was set up that there were two sections to the party. One section maintained by the women, the other maintained by the men. Each side had their own entertainments, from a dunk tank to hot dogs and a whole bunch of fun things. And all the participants who went to the party get to vote at the end whose side that they liked better. Big deal. I kind of hate that, the boys against girls crap. I just hate it. I don't know why I hate it so much. I think, I don't know, I could go on and on. But I always hate it when I see it because it's always just based on nothing. It's based on nothing. Yeah, I could go on and on. I'm not going to go on and on. Okay. Turns out Lexi, apparently, Lexi, this is the pretty little model who Jesse Solomon is madly in love with. It appears to be reciprocated. I don't think she's jerking him around. Um, Although she may not be aware of how serious it is for him. She may not be aware other than the way he's treating her, and he's love bomb treating her. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one falls out or shakes out. Because apparently we find out all the women are upstairs gossiping, all the older women are upstairs gossiping in the bedroom, and the two younger girls are downstairs, having fun in the summer house with the guys. And we find out from the girls upstairs that Lexi has dated some pretty high profile people. One of them, Preston Gerber. Is his name Preston? Cindy Crawford's son, who was also a model. His sister's a model, Kaya Gerber. And so, yeah, she has dated at least one high profile person, and the women upstairs insinuate that she's dated a bunch of them. So, like I said, she's a pretty girl. The only other thing we find besides the beginning of the Kyle Paige argument, which Kyle is pissed at Paige for something Hannah Berner said on some webcast, and we find out that Kyle sends her a long email citing, and this rings absolutely true to me, citing the fact of it was Hannah's low likability rating. I think they used to call it a Q rating. I don't know if they still call it a Q rating, but evidently Bravo does that on all their cast members to see who the audience is really embracing and or not embracing. Now I know I disliked Hannah a lot. There was a lot to dislike. She wasn't a likable person. And then what she did after that guy, what she did to that guy Luke, nobody led her on. She was the aggressor. If anything, Luke could have a sexual harassment suit against her. She was so creepy about it. And then we find out, she takes you home to visit her home life, and her grandmother proudly tells you she does, she's very sexually free, and we have to hear about grandma's sexual exploits. And Hannah just thinks that's all that in the bag of chips. Okay, good. Good for you, Hannah. To me, there was never anything likable about Hannah. And then when she brought along that creepy older comedian where they just did really uh, douche cringy stuff in front of the camera. Bravo made the right decision in getting rid of Hannah, but evidently Paige is of the opinion that Kyle is the reason Hannah was fired. Believe me, if Hannah had good ratings and the audience liked her, Kyle would have had nothing to do. Anything Kyle said wouldn't have made any difference whatsoever. The reason Hannah was let go for the show is she just plain wasn't likable. In fact, she was a little creepy. Now, talking about creepy, there's a new guy that they're just introducing. It's a friend of Kyle's named Imrul. He's in real estate. It gives off major, unapologetic F-boy creepiness. So if that's all he's going to bring to the table, it's going to be interesting to see if any of the women who love to pipe up and criticize the guys, if any of the women pipe up about it. We also saw Danielle. She showed up, I guess, for the holiday party. She looked adorable. She looked 10 years younger than the last time you saw her. Short hairdo, not being on the show has really agreed with her. Okay, let's go on to Southern Charm. Southern Charm's really all about Shep and his delusion of his mopish carrying on about this 26-year-old girl who doesn't want to have anything to do with him, or is she 23? Whatever she is. She is not, as the saying goes, she's just not that into you. To the point that Craig actually gets Paige on the phone to have a talking with him and telling him the fact that she didn't meet you at the airport. She didn't want to have dinner with you. She doesn't want to go out snorkeling with you. Shep, she's not into you. Forget about her. Forget about her. And sure enough, they had. She doesn't show up for dinner. The one little thing I will say about dinner is we finally get to the bottom of what JT did and didn't say, and as far as Miss Patricia, Craig had said that JT called her a bitch, and Craig also said that JT said something about Madison, having the hots for him, and Madison's husband was worried, and none of those things happened. We had cameras there that day at the golf simulation place. It was Shep, JT, and Craig, and JT said none of those things, or even inferred them in their conversations. But Craig took that conversation immediately at the time, and he spread the story around that JT had called Miss Patricia a bitch and had inferred that Madison's husband was jealous of him. And everybody took that as license to dump on JT all year. Or so far this season, let's put it that way. We get to the bottom of it. And the crew, the gang, decide that Craig is just being Craig with his embellishment, because remember, Shep was there at the time. So the question was asked of Shep at dinner: did you hear JT call Miss Patricia bitch? Shep said nope. Did you hear JT say anything about Madison and her husband in a negative way? Nope. And to their credit, the gang believe that the culprit here is Craig and how he likes to embellish and maybe not be 100% accurate in his depiction of conversations. We'll just make that very generic. So anyway, the main story, of course, for the whole episode is once again Shep and his pathetic heartbreak. The following day after dinner, which she bailed on, she also bailed on the boat trip that they had planned for the following day, which is they rent. I don't know what size boat is. It's not below deck or even something half that size. A little boat that go out to a private Bahamian island, which is deserted, but it is exquisite. White sand, crystal green blue water. and they have a good day. Shep starts out moping, and of course he has this long conversation with Madison. Oh yeah, yeah. So this may be a little hint here. I don't know if you recall, but when we first see Siena, I think it is Sally who has a backyard barbecue. Shep brings her to the backyard barbecue, and she's relating to the people she's just meeting. How she didn't really know who Shep was, but her grandmother is in charge of the Bahamas Southern Charm fan club, and she insisted that she go out with Shep. So the little bit she apparently knew, allegedly, of Shep at that time came from her grandmother, who was a fan of the show. So surely the grandmother knows that Shep has got money and lives off a trust fund, which obviously her granddaughter knows that as well. So anyway, we cut to they're in the Bahamas. Siena is dumping him, doesn't want to be around him. The gang go out on this boat ride. Shep has the heart to heart with Madison, who's listening to him. And he relates the story about when he first met Siena. Apparently, he too had rented a boat. And they took a various ride around the islands. Siena was showing him things, houses, and she saw a house up on a bluff or promontory or something, and she said, "Oh, that's a $10 million house. I hope you're going to buy that for me one day." And this is when Craig realizes, oh, he may not have enough money for her, and he starts second guessing her, and he starts also putting her up on, instead of being turned off to saying, "Hey, this chick's after money," he takes it personally, and he takes it um, as proof that he's not good enough for her. You're not good enough for her because you're not going to buy her a $10 million house and you've only seen her 5 times? Oh, thank God Shep's got the friends that he's got, because they're all taking their time and talking to him and telling him that he's being ridiculous over this girl. And he is being ridiculous. The only other thing that happened on the episode, which we see Venita, who's got that mad crush on JT, she slips off one night to his hotel room, goes into the hotel room, but they insist the next day that nothing happened. And I believe them. I believe them. Venita this weekend has taken to social media to say the producers have really played fast and loose with the facts here. Do you recall a couple of weeks ago, Venita had JT over for dinner, and it was at that time JT says that the reason nothing can happen between the two of them as much as he would want it to happen is because he's got a girlfriend, and he's not going to be in Austin, he's not going to be a Shep, he's not going to cheat on his girlfriend. Venita, in this week's Instagram post or TikTok, wherever she puts them up, says that scene with her cooking dinner for JT happened after the Bahamas. And she wanted that to be known because she didn't want people, the way it appeared, if you looked at the way the sequencing went so far on screen, it looks like she knew about the girlfriend, yet she still went to his hotel room. She wants it to be known. When she went to his hotel room, she knew nothing about the girlfriend and did not find out about the girlfriend until they went back to Charleston. She had him over for dinner, and JT told her he had a girlfriend. So, good for you, Venita. And more people should, more cast members, if that happens, needs to point that out. Because to me, that's producers getting a little, I don't know, taking license with reality. A little too much. Okay, we go to Southern Hospitality. We start off with, oh, surprise, surprise, Grace Lily is a bad friend. Yep. She's a bad friend. There's nothing really much to like about Grace Lily. And Grace Lily is doing what I call, and I shouldn't say this, what I call a Alicia Silverstone. Do you remember when Alicia Silverstone was like, and I think she used to be in Aerosmith videos. When she was like 14, 15 years old, she was really, really cute. But then as she hit her, when she aged, got to 20, 21, 22, she wasn't so cute anymore. This is exactly what's happening to Grace Lilly. She may have been cute when she was 18, 19. She's 21, 22, 23 now. Let's just say she's not aging well. She's just not aging well. Um, Maddie is, a lot of people are telling Maddie to dump Grace Lilly as a friend. She's a terrible friend, but then Maddie is super aware that she is Grace Lilly's only friend. She's the only one who cares. And Maddie's not going to turn her back on Grace Lilly, despite how crappy a friend Grace Lilly is. Makes her like Maddie a little bit more. But then we see more of Joey Bottles and Maddie, and Maddie's feeling suffocated, and rightfully so. This Joey B, they've only been going out a couple of months, but he could very easily get married and move in together with her right now. He's making all sorts of noise about it takes him 2 hours to get to Daniel Island and to Charleston. No, it doesn't. I've been to Daniel Island. My aunt and uncle live on Daniel Island. You literally can take a little ferry on Daniel Island if you needed to get to Charleston in 15 minutes. But if you're driving, and 20 minutes to downtown King Street. Or, well, I guess it's like me saying 95 in the morning. And I saw this thing, I think it was on Instagram, that the busiest stretch of highway in the world is my stretch of 95 in Connecticut, which is Fairfield County. They have from Westport down to the New York line, which back in the day when I first moved here, literally you could do in 20 minutes from Westport down to the New York line. Now it takes you an hour and a half, 2 hours. So anyway, that may be the Charleston situation with the traffic, but Joey Bottles, Daniel Island is not 2 hours away from Charleston. It's minutes away from Charleston. So anyway, it looks like Joey Bottles, and there's two people who were saying this. Craig said this, not Craig, excuse me. TJ and Maya both said the same thing, that Joey B was clinging to Maddie because she was on her way up. I don't get that. But he's they're giving me Craig Paige vibes right now. Craig was the one who wanted to get married, wanted to get their future sorted. Joey B wants to do the same thing, and Maddie's not into it. But and another reason to dislike Grace Lilly is though I needed one. At one point, they're having a kitten adoption at the restaurant. Killing two birds with one stone. Come in, have some drinks, and if you could, do a little kitty cat adoption. And Grace Lilly turns her nose up, and who in their right mind can turn their nose up to a kitten? I don't know. They're the cutest things in the world. Turns her nose up at a kitten because it isn't a pure breed. Ugh. She should be banned from having any animals whatsoever. So anyway, well, there is one thing I want to look up. So let me look this up, and I'm going to be right back. Okay, that didn't really tell me anything. You know how the cast member Lake, she has said this a couple times. It says her last name is Rucker, which makes, of course, you think of Darius Rucker. She keeps saying that she has to be careful because she doesn't want to do anything to hurt her family reputation. So I tried to Google to see who her family is, and apparently it's a well-known Charlestonian family, but nothing to do with Darius Rucker, which is who I thought. So anyway, I think that's it. We've decided not ever to like Grace Lilly because she can only have a pure bred cat. She can't have a regular lovable kitten. And she is also not aging very well. Looks like Joey B is suffocating Maddi. And Southern Hospitality, Shep is just Oh my God! Hopefully he gets out of this soon. I just feel bad for him. He's too old to be on the show anyway. He needs to move on. And Summer House, we see the beginning of the Kyle Paige fights. So basically, that's all we have for this week. We're all caught up. Tonight is something's happening tonight, right? Potomac. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We get to find out what Eddie texted to Wendy before the cameras went back up on episode 3 of the reunion of Potomac. So that should be good. And not sure what Married to Medicine has, but we'll find out. We'll report back to you later this week. So anyway, thank you so much as always for tuning in. Oh, I always forget to do this. I forgot to do it in the beginning. If you like what you see and you want to be notified every time we put up new content, please, please hit the subscribe button. Boop. Hit the like button. Think. And that'll help me out tremendously. So thanks again so much for tuning in to the O'Rourke Report.